Nate Diaz has been doing a great job keeping his name in the headlines, but for all the wrong reasons. Recently, his feud with Jake Paul was the talk of the town, and now it seems like he isn't picky with his opponents. Recently, Diaz was involved in an altercation with Conor McGregor's teammate Dillon Danis outside UFC 281, and we're here to tell you all about it, so keep watching. First up, Diaz's altercation with Dillon Danis. The professional 37-year-old MMA fighter was recently involved in an altercation with Conor McGregor's teammate Dillon Danis outside New York City's Madison Square Garden as UFC 281 played out. A leaked video of the incident showed the former UFC star and now free agent Nate speaking with the Irish MMA fighter's manager, Audie Attar, outside Madison Square Garden on the 12th of November. The video showed a group of people standing around each man. In the video, you could also hear Attar pleading with Diaz not to cause a scene and was heard saying that his kids are here. Initially, there seems to be no tension and just a normal conversation. That is before McGregor's teammate and jiu-jitsu specialist Danis appears to taunt Diaz, who then slaps a man standing next to him. Typical Diaz move. Coming up, Danis and Diaz's interaction. Nate didn't intend to have a brawl with Danis, or so it seems. He was there to watch Israel Adesanya lose his middleweight title to former kickboxing rival Alex Pereira. Fans then bombarded Diaz after the fight, where they watched him bump into Danis and Audie Attar. Dillon and Nate's feud goes years back thanks to the UFC Legends rivalry with McGregor, since both have a win over each other in the UFC, and everyone has waited for them to reunite for another match. Danis was seen trying to reason with Diaz in the video, but he just replied with a middle finger and said, "I'll F you up," before slapping him and proceeding to throw a drink at Danis before everything died down. Up next is Dana White's reaction. UFC President Dana White also gave his 2 cents on the entire incident. White and Diaz have been involved in an ongoing feud since the boxer accused the president of not letting him fight and complete his contract. So, of course, White just had to react to the incident. He said that he wasn't shocked in the least that Diaz chose to do this because the event had been sold out for weeks, and Nate called at the very last minute for 6 tickets. They didn't have the tickets available, so he figured it out and got seats. Dana even stated that he went and talked to him and all seemed well, but it's very much like Nate to cause unnecessary drama for clout, and that's exactly what he did. The UFC boss concluded by saying that every time Nate shows up, he expects something to happen, so he doesn't let it bother him. Coming up, fans react to Nate Diaz's slap. Of course, fans had a lot to say about the latest Stockton slap and seemed annoyed by it now. One fan claimed that Diaz was a legend and it was disappointing to see him act out like this for 2 minutes of fame. Another reminded him that he's a 37-year-old man and needs to grow up, while one Twitter user said that Nate just comes to events to slap people. Another one pointed out that he will get hit with an assault charge someday if he keeps doing this. People are unhappy with Diaz's new moves and want him to stick to the arena for such antics. Moving forward, Nate Diaz slaps a member of Jake Paul's team. Only a few weeks ago, Nate was caught slapping a member of Jake Paul's team in the corridors of the Desert Diamond Arena in Arizona, moments before Paul's match against Anderson Silva took place. According to reports, the YouTuber turned boxers and Nate's teams were involved in a 20-man backstage brawl. The younger Paul brother claimed that he was unaware of the brawl and was too busy preparing for his match. In the leaked video, Diaz, Nick Maximov, and Julia Villa were front and center yelling at Jake's bodyguard. After some back and forth, Diaz slapped Paul's meditation coach while Maximov threw a beer bottle at Paul's bodyguard. The former UFC agent was also seen hitting one of Jake's team members with a water bottle and then telling his team to leave, announcing they had won. Pictures of Diaz also emerged where he was seen slapping a member of Paul's team. Before things could get any uglier, security was called and Diaz and his team were sent away from the premises. Up next, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor's past interaction. McGregor and Diaz have had a rocky past, as only a few months ago, Diaz hit back at the Irish MMA fighter after he threatened to smash his jaw. The pair have been fighting for more than 6 years, and it doesn't seem either is backing off anytime soon. After McGregor tweeted, "Stay out of my acting game, I'll smash your jaw in." This statement led to their rematch, which ended up being the second highest selling UFC pay-per-view of all time with 1.65 million buys, a record that stands to this day. Diaz did seem interested in the appeal with McGregor, but advancements have yet to take place. Now let's talk about Conor's prediction about Israel Adesanya's fight. It was embarrassing for Conor to get his prediction for the UFC 281 main event wrong when he stated that Israel Adesanya would win the fight against Alex Pereira. McGregor, a former two-weight champion, had predicted that Adesanya would win against Pereira in their middleweight title fight at Madison Square Garden, and he even went and told his fans to vote for Adesanya. It doesn't surprise us that he supported the 33-year-old MMA fighter because they share the same management team in Paradigm Sports. Next, Adesanya and Pereira's match. The Nigerian New Zealander was looking to make the sixth defense of his middleweight title in the match, but was knocked out in the fifth round. But he put up a good fight and was doing a great job in the early rounds, but clearly he was not good enough to win against the Brazilian MMA fighter. All Alex Pereira needed was to finish strong in the final round, and that's exactly what he did. Midway through the final round, he landed some good strokes that shook Adesanya, so much so that the referee, Mark Goddard, stepped in to stop the fight. The loss ended Adesanya's 12-fight unbeaten run at middleweight, and he praised Pereira for his durability after the fight. Adesanya, who Pereira knocked out in their 2017 kickboxing rematch, admitted that his leg was shutting down because of Pereira's low kicks. Next, Adesanya's reason for losing. Israel Adesanya revealed later that the reason for his loss was that his leg was damaged from Pereira's kicks just moments before he was knocked out in their UFC title fight. He was looking to make the sixth defense of his middleweight title at UFC 281 against his old kickboxing rival. The last stylebender said his peroneal nerve was affected by the Brazilian's leg kicks that added up throughout the fight, and he felt his leg shutting down. Next, Adesanya talks about Pereira's skill. Adesanya was a good sport as he complimented his opponent's skill, said he got his calf kicks early and invested in the fight well. He went on to say that since his peroneal nerve was hit, his footwork was compromised and he tripped and went backward. He had to do the Rolly-Polly. He praised Pereira's skills and stated that investing in those calf kicks cost him, so kudos. Talking about the fight, he said, "Effing crazy end." Similar to the last time, same story, it's crazy. He went on to commend his rival and state that he recovered well. However, he did conclude by saying that while this was a great story for him, it wasn't over for the two of them, and the war was still on. Wrapping it up with Pereira's comments. Like McGregor, not everyone had high hopes of Pereira as he only had 3 UFC fights under his belt going into this fight. Fans and critics felt he had a less chance of winning against a comparatively more experienced Adesanya, but boy, did he prove everyone wrong. Talking about the fight, the Brazilian stated that he believes the referee made the right decision to stop the fight despite his opponent claiming that he should have been given more time to recover. He stated that many emotions were going through his head as he thought of all the years of hard work and dedication which led him to win against Adesanya. He stated that he had planned to keep a steady pace and then knock his opponent out, which ended up working incredibly for him. Well, that is a wrap for this video. So what do you think about Nate Diaz being involved in an altercation with Dillon Danis? What do you think about Conor McGregor losing his bet for Israel Adesanya's fight? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.